everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Dimitra. In today's video, we are going to be doing a foundation review. Now, this isn't going to be my typical first impressions that I normally do with foundation because I have been wearing this every single day for the last 3 weeks to figure out if I like it or not. And truly, within the first 2 days of having this on my face, I was in love and I knew the game was over. If y'all have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am die hard for my Dior foundation. In particular, I love the Dior Skin Forever foundation. I also fell in love with the Dior Skin Forever foundation relatively recently. It's within the last year at least. And of course, Dior released a slew of new Backstage makeup, and as soon as this little bad boy came out, I had to get my hands on it and try it out because I love a good Dior foundation, and I just wanted to know how this one stacked up against these two foundations here. And let me tell you, this is a banger right here. This is an incredible foundation, but I'm not just gonna sit here and talk about it. I am actually going to put it on my face so you guys can see how it applies. So if you're interested in seeing how this foundation looks on my skin as well as what my thoughts are, make sure you keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my upcoming videos, because yes, to subscribe is free. To watch me every day is free. Well, I mean, you gotta pay for your internet, but you don't have to pay to watch me. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you get notified every time I upload a new video, and join my makeup family. Apologies in advance if you see beads of sweat on my face because it is stinking hot in this city right now. It has been 40+ degrees almost every single day in Toronto, and I have just been sweltering in the heat despite me having the AC on. Anyhow, to apply this foundation, I am going to use my trusty beauty blender. I have gone ahead and dampened that. I'm going to quickly shake this up to make sure all of the product is mixed. And I'm going to unscrew the lid, and a little bit has already kind of popped out. There's quite a bit of foundation in here. I'm going to squeeze some onto the back of my hand. And yes, it is a squeezy tube, just like this foundation here. It is not a pump, but as you can see, the foundation is on the watery side. Oh shit, I forgot to prime. 1 second. I'm gonna prime using my CoverGirl primer. Man, I don't usually forget this step, but you know what? I'll tell you one thing. Whether I prime or I don't prime, this foundation looks incredible. I was certainly surprised the first time I put this on my skin because it did say it's, I think, light to medium coverage or medium to buildable full. I didn't have the highest of hopes, not even gonna lie, even though it is a Dior foundation. I wasn't sure what this was gonna look like on my skin, but the minute I put it on, right? Like, look at this. And it doesn't feel like anything on my skin. It just feels so lightweight. It provides really good coverage, especially if you don't want to go full cake face. This foundation has actually become my go-to for days when I just want a little bit of coverage just to even out my skin tone, but I still want my skin to peek through. And there is the foundation all blended out on my skin. As you can see, it has just evened out my skin tone really, really nicely. It has toned down all of the redness that usually peeks through along my cheeks over here, along my forehead, my nose. Everything just looks nice and uniform right now. And now I'm gonna go in with my concealer. I'm just gonna use some of this NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I'm going to use this Sephora concealer brush and just put a little bit along this area here where I know I usually get pretty red throughout the day. And taking the same beauty blender that I use to blend out the foundation, I'm going to blend out the concealer. I need to quickly set the concealer now, and to do so, I'm gonna use my trusty Rimmel Stay Matte Loose Setting Powder. Y'all know I am a big fan of this powder. I just think it blends so seamlessly into the skin, and it gives you a beautiful finish. Don't be scared, it's gonna look worse before it gets better. Normally, I would let this powder sit on my skin for a good 5 to 10 minutes while I do my brows, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna proceed as if it has already sat on my face for that long. And what I kinda like to do, especially as of late, is push in the powder a little bit with my dampened beauty blender. So I'm trying to maximize this product as much as possible by really pushing this into my skin so it'll help control my oils throughout the day, because I've been finding with all of the heat in the city recently, my skin has just gone apeshit on me. It is a lot oilier than, I think I said that right, oilier. It's a lot oilier than it normally is, and I know it's due to the extreme heat. The other thing that I like about using that particular method is that it does airbrush your skin a little bit more, so it tries to hide all of the pores on your face and give you an even smoother canvas to work with. I'm now gonna go in with my trusty MAC Studio Fix powder and this Fluffy It Cosmetics brush. Of course, I'm gonna go over top of all of that powder with a little more powder. I really like the Studio Fix powder because it also adds a little extra coverage as well, and I also like the way it sets foundation. To finish off my face, I am gonna add a little bit of bronzer. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. I'm taking this Morphe brush and warming up the skin. And you can see how nicely this powder is blending out on top of all of the other setting powders that we've used. It just gives it a really nice diffused look. Now I'm gonna go into my little Makeup Forever blush palette right here, and I'm gonna use, what am I gonna use today? I'm gonna use this more a neutral toned apricot sort of peachy blush, and I'm gonna use a Morphe E4 brush. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of blush on the tops of my cheekbones. Normally I would finish off the rest of my face and jump back on camera to give you my final thoughts, but because I am filming multiple videos today, I am going to leave my face as is, but you guys can definitely get a good look at how this foundation is wearing. I have loved this foundation from the moment that I first put it on my skin. I do like the watery texture that it does have. It does blend onto your skin really nicely. It's certainly lighter coverage than what you're normally used to, so if you are looking for a full coverage foundation, this is probably not the foundation for you, but it does leave your skin looking like skin while providing a little bit of coverage and evening out any texture or any redness or other issues that you might be dealing with on your skin. It does wear for a very long time. I have put this through a 16-hour wear test on multiple days. Yes, I've had a long couple of weeks, and this foundation has stayed put. I have jumped in the pool with it. I have sweat my balls off while shopping, walking around the block, you name it, I've done it with this foundation, and it still looks amazing. The only areas where I find that it does tend to wear off, especially for me, is around my nose right here. It does tend to fade really quickly, and my redness does start peeking through. And then I also notice it along this area right here and on my chin, but that's mostly because I touch my face a lot. Otherwise, on my cheeks, the foundation looks great. My forehead doesn't budge at all, and even on my upper lip, it does stay put. This foundation isn't 100% transfer proof, and what I mean by that is when the natural oils on your skin start to peek through, it is going to move the foundation around a little bit. And if you do do touch your face at all, you are going to be seeing a little bit of shifting, but nothing too crazy to cause concern. I didn't notice this foundation wiping off on other parts of my body if I were to like wipe sweat away with my arm, or if my face accidentally touched my clothes. I don't see it wiping off in that way. So I guess in that respect it is transfer proof, but it kind of isn't at the same time. And to be honest with you, I don't know a single foundation out there that is 100% transfer proof. I am wearing the shade 1.5, which is a light neutral, and it is a perfect match to my skin. I do notice that it does tend to be a little on the pink side rather than having a completely neutral undertone, but I'm okay with that. I just bring it down my neck and I make sure to blend it in as best as I can. And I do find the shade 1.5 is a very, very close match, if not identical, to the 020 in both the Dior Forever foundation, the Forever Perfect I should say, and the Dior Forever Undercover foundation. So it is a very close match. I do like that this foundation in particular has a larger shade range, and it does try to cater to a number of different undertones, but I do find it very difficult to identify which foundation is the right shade for you from their website. And I ordered off of Sephora, of course, and they do have a little matrix that you can look at that Dior has created, but I found some of the shades to be so similar that it was a little bit hit and miss depending on what type of undertone you have and how light is light versus medium, if that makes any sense. If possible, I would go into a store, go into a Dior counter, see if you can swatch the foundation in person. That way you can get a much better shade match before you shell out the cash for this. This little bottle does contain 1.6 fluid ounces of product, or 50 milliliters, which is significantly more than the Perfect foundation, which only contains 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters, and it's still more than the Undercover foundation, which contains 40 milliliters or 1.3 fluid ounces. In general, foundation is 1 ounce just like this, so you certainly get a little more product in here, as you should for the price, because this foundation is also not cheap. This foundation does retail for 50 Canadian dollars. I'll put the US equivalent down here somewhere so you guys can see that, and that is significantly more affordable than this foundation, which retails for 62, I believe, and this one here, which is 64, I think. So you are getting a really good value with this, but again, the coverage isn't as spectacular as these two, but it still is really, really good. The foundation does stay relatively matte on my skin, and I can confidently say that I get at least 5 hours of wear where I am completely matte, and then my oils do start to peek through. And before it gets a little too crazy, I do go in there, I blot and I powder, and my foundation is good to go again. Overall, I love this foundation. I think it is so good. It is the perfect summer foundation. I think even year-round, this is a great foundation, and it is certainly top shelf for me right now. I keep reaching for it even though I finished doing all of my testing of it, just because I love the way it wears. There's something about Dior foundations, people, I'm telling you, they are just so, so good. You guys even saw it on my skin. It just looks fantastic, and I hope it's not just me, but I also have a feeling that this foundation has actually smoothed out some of the texture that's on my skin as well. But that could certainly be the buttload of powder that I put on top of it, so I'm just being honest. And that's gonna do it for this review. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know exactly what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed, and join the makeup family. Also, leave a comment below letting me know what you think of this foundation, how it looks on my skin. Also, if you've had a chance to play around with it, let me know what your thoughts are. If you want your daily dose of Dimitra, don't forget to check me out on all of my social media. I am gonna leave all of the links in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are all having a magnificent day, no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!